It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And I have a very interesting guest today who has done some awesome research and has some very interesting things that she will share with us. So let me bring Rainetta Jones on. Welcome, Rainetta.
Hiya, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I've
Okay.
listened to some of your shows with James Rink, and I was just fascinated with the different things that you're able to talk about. And
Sure.
I indicated that, well, go ahead and, I know you don't like this question, but tell us about yourself, your background and so on. I put some in the description, so there is some information there.
Okay. Well, I was born in the Caribbean. Caribbean life is really, really good, you know. In terms of like spirituality, the Caribbean is very spiritual, and I think a lot of ancient portals are there. They don't call things aliens, but there's a lot of spiritual activity there. I mean, high spiritual activity, right? So I grew up like with that on the periphery,
Uh-huh.
you know. You're always very present of it when you're growing up in the Caribbean. There's that other world, and that other world could always, at any point in time, come into your world. And there's a lot of people around you. When you're growing up in the Caribbean, there's a lot of people around you that live in two worlds, the worlds we could see and the world that we don't see. So it's
Oh,
very
wow.
present and very, yeah. So things like mental illness, things like, possession, oppression is very, very like, people take it differently and they deal with it differently. If people hear, voices and that kind of stuff, or they're being oppressed by entities, the knowledge. I mean, I don't know about now, but how they dealt with those things when I was growing up is totally different. Now they just drug you to death and call you a loony bin. Whereas
Yeah, that's
before,
what they do. That's what they do.
yeah, that's not the way to deal with these things, because when it doesn't really stop it, two, the drugs only bring on more entities. If you understand what drugs are, drugs are gateway,
Oh,
you know. Mhm. If you understand what
oh,
drugs
sorry,
are,
that
drugs.
was
Yeah, that's
the
okay. That's okay.
psychic drugs you're talking about. They're very strong.
Yeah, I'm talking
I
about
worked in a
mhm. I'm listening.
I worked at a mental health hospital, and I saw that, and I saw people beg to get off those drugs, and they wouldn't let them get off. And it
I got
frequently was with somebody that was hearing voices or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, because the drugs do more damage than good. I can say that with certainty because I got very close to society, the people that society throw away. I got very close to them. I mean, extremely close. And I can tell you 9 times out of 10, they don't want to be on those drugs because the drugs are worse,
That's right.
and what the drugs are there for, based upon what they told me, the drugs are there for to kill their spirit. It doesn't necessarily stop if they're labeled schizophrenic, which is nothing more than, oppression. Okay. Oppression is when the entities are on you. Possession is when the entities are
Are
in you.
in you. Ah, okay.
You understand? Yeah.
What's the difference? I mean, how do you tell a difference if
Oh
it's
yeah.
in
When you're
you
oppressed,
or
you can
attached
feel
to
it.
you?
Oh yeah. When you're oppressed, you can feel it. You can feel the entities on you because their energy signature is usually colder, and their energy signature is what you would call evil. You can
Oh, yeah.
feel a totally different frequency when they're around you. And, things like when you get into things like energy weapons are nothing more than pulling the energy from entities. People think that directed energy weapons are just dealing with frequencies. No, you're dealing with what they're doing is they're tapping into life forms in the invisible realm and bringing them into this realm and then directing them at people. So
Oh,
99% of what people are calling mental illness is weapons tapping into the ether. Like for example, people just think that the sun is just some giant electromagnetic radiating mass in the sky. No, the sun is an actual entity, and entities give off energy. The water is an entity, and when something is alive, whether it's alive in a way we understand it, because there are
mhm,
different levels of life, right? So there's life in the material world, like you and I know, and then there is life in other realms that you and I may not be familiar with. So when you're trying to understand this whole concept of mental illness, no, drugging people to death is not the answer. Getting to the root of the mental illness can help resolve some of these issues. But one of the things, let me go back to my past. So I grew up in the Caribbean, came here to the United States, had an encounter when I was 13 years old. And that encounter, I woke up in a pool of blood when I
oh
was,
my
yeah,
goodness.
I went to sleep when I was on a Thursday, woke up on a Sunday, and I woke up in a pool of blood coming out my vagina. And
Ooh,
it was in between my first and second period. So I knew I was 13 years old. And I remember being 13 years old because I was the last of my girlfriends to get my period. That's how I remembered, right?
uh-huh.
So, yeah. And later on is when I realized I was implanted, but that was the first layer of implantation. So, like I said, like the Caribbean, the spirit, what you call the spirit realm or the ether, is very real in the Caribbean. To us, it's not some distant place that occultists go and they just tap into. No, 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 no. It's very real and it's very present, whether or not you engage in that realm. And most people try not to engage in that realm, but there are people who do. Whether or
Hmm.
not you engage in it, it's very real to us. It's very present to us, and it's some in some parts of the Caribbean. It's just an unspoken thing. It's there, it's going on, it's around you, people around you live in two worlds,
Wow.
two realms. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? You're from Arizona, right? You're in Arizona?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
You're in Sedona?
Yes.
Okay,
I wasn't born here or anything like that though.
right.
I was actually born in Wisconsin, so, and I like the warm weather. I have to
Okay,
say,
yeah.
yeah.
In Sedona, I'll tell you something funny. In Sedona, because my new thing now is rocks, right? And I'm gonna go back to my past, try not to be all over the
Yes.
place. Yeah. So my new thing now, well, I shouldn't say it's new. The revelation of this, they started waking up and communicating with me when I went back to the Caribbean. I should say the land started communicating with me before 2015. And then when I went back to the Caribbean, it really started to communicate with me. And then when I came back, it was like, we're trying to get your attention, you know? So
Wow.
whether it's terrain like the flat earth, not flat earth, but the actual earth, okay?
Yeah.
Or if it's mountain beings, and many simple blind people, and they're spiritually blind, they would say that this is mental illness. No, it's not. If you go into indigenous cultures all over the world, every indigenous culture,
Hmm.
they have a God who lives in the mountains. They have a God who lives in the earth. And this goes back to the understanding of what mental illness is and what it is not, and the right ways to deal with it. But in our society, we don't have patience, you see? And because we
Right.
don't have, yeah, because we don't have patience, we want a pill to fix everything, and pills don't fix anything.
Anything.
Yeah. What fixes the problem is getting into the person's soul. And I wouldn't advise everyone to just open up and let anyone access them. Getting someone who can access them, seeing where the problem is, walking them through the problem and dismantling it. So that's some of the things that can be done very gently. But like I said, I don't advise, people just letting anyone getting, accessing their spirit and their soul and going and looking into their past. People need to be very careful because not a lot of people,
Who would
are clean.
would they do that with? Yeah,
Mm.
free of entities themselves, right? Um,
Yeah, and you know,
would a shaman do that sort of thing?
yeah, here's the thing, you know, there are shamans that can clear entities, right?
Hmm.
But you got to make sure that when they clear entities, they're not binding you to another one.
Oh wow! And how would a person know that? You
Yeah,
know.
you gotta ask them, and you gotta make sure that when they speak to you, to tell you the truth, because they can do it. They can clear you. But even your standard religion, they do that. For example, you go and you get an exorcism in the Catholic Church.
Mm.
After they perform the exorcism, you got to accept the Holy Spirit of the Catholic teaching. You go and you get deliverance in the non-Catholic branches. They tell you, in order to maintain the deliverance, you have to accept Jesus Christ into your body. So it's always some kind of exchange, as opposed to the real type of exchange, which is when you actually read the life of Jesus. Jesus didn't tell anyone accept him inside of their bodies. No.
No, he
What did he
didn't.
say? After he got rid of the evil entities, he said, live a clean life. Live a clean
Wow.
life. You know,
Oh,
don't go back into the pig pen that caused the problems. You see what I'm saying? Live
mhm.
a clean life. So this is something that people, you will never read in the Christian Bible where Jesus said, okay, he cast out demons and he said to the people, yes, now get the Holy Spirit in you. That's not there,
No.
you know?
Um,
Mhm.
he said the kingdom of heaven is within you. um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's already in you.
yeah.
He never told anyone, be baptized, filled with the Holy Spirit, and then you get the kingdom of heaven. No. When you wake up and you realize, and I'm not a Christian, I
Hmm.
don't do religion, right? But when you wake up and you realize there's more to this universe than they told you realize that you come from the stars. That is what he meant. It's already in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lenny
Hmm.
is one of our someone that
Hmm.
is a regular listener, and she said she had an attachment. She says when I was talking to a shaman to get rid of it, it started strangling me, and a
Hmm.
voice in my head shouted, "No, you're mine."
Right.
Wow.
Okay. So let's talk about entity attachment, right? Even though,
Okay,
I totally jumped from my past to getting into the questions, but that's okay because
that's
we're here
okay.
to help people, right? And I'm not
Exactly.
selling you anything. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not asking you to book a consultation. I'm just here to literally help people deal with this, okay? Number one, we are in the 21st century, okay? I believe over 50% of the people oppressed by entities have technology in their bodies. This is how they're doing it now.
Oh, yeah. I've had shows about how they tap into our bioelectric field. We're already, we
Mhm.
had that smart dust and all that stuff for
Yeah.
years.
Like me, they got me when I came to the United States. I was already implanted at 13, right? But that was from ETs. So when I came to the United States, the US government, through certain groups, installed even worse technology. So they got me like, I have cybernetics in my eye here. I have Neuralink back here that goes from here to back here. So my whole left side is Neuralaced,
Oh
and I
my
don't.
gosh.
Yeah, and they did all of this illegally. Okay, so this is what makes me an authority to help people out of this. Okay, because I live with this wicked technology, and I wouldn't advise anyone: do not listen to these people. Elon Musk is not a savior, but not that I'm getting involved in politics, but he's not the one that came up with Neuralink. They were testing Neuralink in the 90s. Elon Musk wasn't around in the 90s.
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were like doing these things. And I know one of the first people they tested these things on in the 50s. He died, John Storm. I'm not sure if you know who he is. He was
No,
one of the first. Yeah. He was one of the first what you call ultras, okay, where they build these programs. They have these secret government programs to certain missions, and then they build the people around the missions, and then they send them out and that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so let's get to answering your question, Lenny. Lenny, did you get actually get rid of the entity? because I want to at least assist you in answering this question. If you didn't, one of the first things you have to do is you have to get your body scanned, because the way that entity attacked you, it sounds to me like that's technology.
Mm.
Okay?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the new game. You have to understand that is the new game. That is the new game they're playing. The playing is control. The game is possession. And when I say possession, I mean possession, because possession is what they say is 9/10 of the law, right? So the new game of these wealthy people is not just having you in financial slavery with a monetary system. No, they don't just want to possess you through your bank accounts. They don't want to possess you through,
Oh, let me
right.
put that up there. Okay.
Okay. They don't want to possess you through, your bank accounts, this and that and the other. No, they want to possess you inside of your body. And the way in which they do that is they do technology. There is body area networks, body area controllers,
Yes.
Y bands, Y backs, WBAC. Then there is the whole nano networks, which is the latest cobweb. And that's a whole other platform that's built around a spider. That is the entity that's around nanotech. This nanotech technology is arachnid technology.
Ooh, that's
That's
yucky.
the end. Yeah, that's the entity, a rogue spider. That is the entity that's around all of this. Skynet, the satellite systems, the satellite networks that they have up. They want to destroy, the concept of build back better, where they destroy and then they rebuild.
Hmm.
Okay. They want to rebuild the infrastructure with what they call spider infrastructure. How many people know that?
Nobody.
Nobody, because that's the entity behind nanotech. It's an arachnid technology. So one of the things you have to do today, whenever you are oppressed or possessed, is you have to get the body scanned. Unfortunately, or you have to at least get an RFID scanner, and you scan your body, and it's going to tell you the anomalous signals, the spike in the signals coming off your body. When you scan the human body, the human body without technology is at point zero 0.02 hertz as you're scanning the body, point zero 0.02 hertz. Okay. When a person has technology in their body, it spikes above point zero 0.02 hertz. Okay. Like when they scanned my body, I was at 327 megahertz.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the guy was horrified. And that was coming off my pelvic area. My ankle was even worse.
What are they doing this for? I mean, what is this?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand they steal your eggs. As a being
Yeah.
a female, they'll steal
Yeah.
your eggs.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but what is the purpose? I mean, they're what is the
Look,
purpose of doing that to you? Is what I'm asking. Because
okay.
it doesn't
So
seem like they control you.
no, 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 they don't. Sorry. They don't control me, but they control, and this is why it's important to understand what they call mental illness, right? These wealthy people make contracts with these entities. Okay. This is just the reality. And the entities say to them, okay, well, you want technology, but you got to give us something. Okay. What do you think they give? They give the citizens of the country.
You get to abduct so many people, right?
You get to not just abduct, but it's okay. They are talking about abduction. Abduction is like, is it happening? Yes. But what they're really doing now is the entities does not want to abduct. They want to possess. Because look at it this way. If I abduct you, I don't learn what it's like if I'm trying to take over Earth and I abduct you, I do experiments on you. I am not learning what it's like to live as a human. But if I put technology inside of your body and I can control your central nervous system, what you call mental illness, your central nervous system governs all of the movements of the body. If I can get control of your central nervous system, run it through a computer, get control of your brain, which controls all of your movements, run it through an EEG. I can now see as you see, smell as you smell, taste as you taste, hear as I could do what? I could possess you and live through you. So the name of the game now is not abduction. The name of the game is possession to replace. You see? You see a lot of,
Wow.
yeah. And this is why people are saying, there's an uptick in mental illness. No, we have to check the body for technology. When we look at crime in the last 20, 30 years is nothing but technological possession by entities who are contracted with your government. Your government goes to these entities, your government and military, corporations, don't get me started on the wealthy. They've been doing this for years. Okay, they go to the entities come and say, okay, what do you want? They say, okay, we want the latest technology, even though the entities don't give them the latest technology. And in return, yeah,
They give them
and in
archaic stuff, right?
yeah, they give them their technology from like 100 years
Yeah,
ago, right? But
yeah.
to us, it's like, oh my God, it's so advanced. Yeah, right. So what they do is they say, okay, in return, you got to give us your population. So before the deal was to abduct, not anymore. The deal is the entities now, what you call aliens, want to live in the body for a period of time. Why do they want to do this? They want to know what it's like to live life as a human so that if they come here in a human suit, they don't look out of place. Why? Because now they have all of the commands of your central nervous system. Now they know what makes you tick. Now they know how you think. Now they know how to speak. Now they know how to act so they don't stand out. So the name of the game is inside of the body, understanding how the body operates. Now, here's the problem: the host recognizes, wait, there's a foreign entity here. There's something inside of my body that doesn't belong here. So what does psychology call it? Because psychology says, okay, you believe there's another entity living inside of you.
You're
The
totally
psych
crazy, right?
yeah, the psychologist is not going to say run MRI. Let's look at the brain. They're not going to say run a CT scan. Let's look at the brain. They're not going to say, okay, let's test you for parasites.
No, they don't. They don't do toxins. They don't do parasites. They don't do any of that.
Okay, toxins, parasites. Okay, so the three biggest ones that are attacking America today on purpose, because the name of the game is possession. How do these entities possess? One of the mediums in which entities, real entities, okay, get into the body is through toxic mold, fungi. Over 50% of America suffer with fungus,
Oh, fungus. Okay.
okay, and parasites. The parasitic overload in the United States is 70%. Okay. Now, even though the crime in the United States, the criminal population, let's make something clear. The criminal population is not the total population. Let's make something clear. Let's do a little bit of numbers, right? So the total population, allegedly, of the United States is 300 plus million. The criminal population of the United States, I think it's the total number of crimes, I think it's let's see, I think it's like 8 million. 8 million crimes. Okay, so crime population, the crimes is less than 2% of the US population. Now, the crimes, as we just think it's a bunch of lawless people. But how many of those people have technology in their bodies? Do we know what they're putting inside of these childhood? Do we know what's
The
inside of there?
stickers. Yeah.
Yeah, the okey pokey, right?
Yeah.
Look at
Right.
this. So the schedule for the childhood hocus pocus went from 10 to up to
36.
78.
It's
No,
78. Oh, wow.
yeah,
Oh my
78.
God.
Now
Yeah.
watch this. Here's where the math gets really
Autism
crazy.
rate too.
Right? Think about it, right? So one of the hocus pocus, one of it has at least 50 ingredients in it. At least. And they're only testing it for what? Metals. They're not testing it for parasites. They're not testing it for fungi. and they're not testing it for mold. Okay. When mold, parasites, and fungus begin to express themselves in the body, the host feels as if there are foreign entities in their bodies. Where do the parasites go? The parasites go where? They go
Brain
to take over the brain
and gut too.
and the gut. It goes to the parasites tend to gravitate towards the control system of the body, the brain, and the most powerful control system of the body because of the fauna, the colony, the bacterial colony. It's the stomach.
Wow.
Okay. So mental illness. People are not saying, wait, hold on. A person has mental illness, let's put you on a detox regimen. A person has mental illness, let's check the blood. They're not saying that. What are they telling you to
Mm,
do? You're crazy. So what do you need? You need crazy pills. Doesn't solve
exactly.
anything,
And you know
right?
what? I think they actually drive the soul and spirit from the body when they're because it's just like was found to be doing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the yeah. I mean, you hit it on the head 100%. That's what it's for. It's called pharmakia, and pharmakia in and of itself
sorcery.
is sorcery. And what is sorcery? Sorcery is what displacing the spirit and putting in another one. Okay, I used to be around people who were literally what society called throwaways, and they used to talk to me and they used to tell me, like, they used to show me one of them had 50 different pills they took in a day, and they said, I want to get off this. Part of my language is shit,
Yeah,
you know.
you
So
can say
when we
that.
got down, yeah, when we got down to the root, so one day this person confided in me and they told me, and I said to they asked me a spiritual question, and I asked them a couple of questions, and then they confided in me that they killed someone many years before. Okay, and you know what happens when you shed blood? That person's spirit doesn't just leave their body, but part of your spirit dies too. And when part of your spirit dies, when you shed blood, what happens? Something's gonna come to fill it. You see?
Oh wow. Does that happen if it was in self-defense?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing, and this is why I said to people,
That's
if an
interesting.
act, yeah, if an act of murder occurs under self-defense, you still have to, even though it was self-defense and it is justified, you still have to renounce the destruction. You still have to renounce the killing. You have to declare. You have to declare it. Okay, that it was an act of self-defense and it's not a lifestyle. Why? You do not want these entities. You don't want to give these entities room to come into your aura and attach itself to your body. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the worst thing that they do to people is they throw a bunch of people in prisons even for that too, and then they're just surrounded with
And then
um,
they also use
negative.
as experiments, because I know people from the prison population, and they told me they use them for all sorts of experiments, especially these weapons, these energy weapons. And, which I tell them, I said, it's not energy, it's entities. The energy is coming from where? The ether. What do you think lives there? They're taking the negative energy. The Egyptians call it the seething energies. When the Egyptians make the cross like this and they hold the two
Yeah,
metal cape, yeah, they call that the seething energies of the serpent. What do you think is that? That's electromagnetic energy. And this X is shielding when they hold the two copper wires like this. They're shielding themselves from the seething energies. They tell you, they call this the seething energies. It's not just electricity, it's the electromagnetism. And where they're drawing that energy, they're drawing it from the entities that live in the ether. So the directed energy weapons is not just them building a machine and aiming weapons at you. No, it's coming from actual entities that are discharging energy. So that's why people under directed weapons assaults, they feel as if it's a demonic attack, which it is because it's entities. So all of these things is what surround what they call mental illness. And the mental illness today I can assure you, from the crime, the increase in crime, what you call crime, it's not crime. These people aren't committing crime. These people are hijacked. 99% of them are hijacked. 99% of them are chipped. And 99% of them are being driven by an AI, or which is what these entities use. And when I say entities, I say getting in the realm of these ETs. 99% of them are being driven by these ETs who use an AI in order to live out the human experience. So I am not denigrating people who were abducted or who are being abducted, but you need to understand that what you call these negative ETs, they've changed their tactics. And their tactics now is to live through the AI. So it's ET, AI to the tech, tech goes in the body, downstream the information, and the ET gets to live through the human. So this is what's going on now. The ETs want to live through the human and experience what it's like to live inside of a body with a soul, you see? And this allows them to do it. And your government said, okay, you give us technology and we hand you over the humans.
And they don't even share the technology either. They keep it all to themselves.
They keep it all to themselves, yeah. And then they use what they get against us. So, people need to understand that AI is not just, an algorithm and you're putting a group of numbers together and codes together. No. Where did it come from? I'll tell you where it came from. It came from a race of arachnids. It's arachnid technology. But it's not just arachnids who use it. Other life forms use it as well. And they use it to build solar systems, build planets, build parts of the universe. They use it for all sorts of stuff. But they also use it in order as a platform which goes with technology, and then the technology goes into the body and it allows these ETs to live life knowing what it feels like to have a soul. Now, let me tell you where people begin to go crazy. These ETs, many of them, because they have no soul, they have no connection to source, the supreme creator, the all, okay, the great one, the great spirit, okay, however you want to call it, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whichever one is your shining one and the one that
Source.
brings it,
Yeah.
source, yeah, whatever you want to call it, right? So a lot of them, because they don't have a soul, there's a disconnection, right? So let me show you where mental illness can come in. So if the person has a connection, because I notice a lot of people who go into the churches, into religion, they end up severely oppressed. Why are they oppressed? You're supposed to be free when you go into religion, right? Why? Because these entities, the entities, remember, so entities, AI, this is the new way they're doing it. Entities, AI, technology, human body. And then the entities get to live life as a human. Then we go ETs, which are entities, but material form. AI, technology, body, they get to live life. Now, these ETs that don't have a soul and don't have a connection back to source, when they begin to feel, because the energy goes like this, because that's what they want to use to feel what it's like to live in this realm as a human, right? So when these ETs begin to feel the energies of what they call the creator, the source, the prime one, the all, they go crazy. Now, what happens to the person who's in that body? Two things can happen. They either go crazy or they get oppressed. You see, these are things that these psychiatrists they don't talk about. They don't talk about a lot of this goes to entity attachments using an AI inside of technology inside the body. But there's a two-way transfer of energy. When the energy from the creator is coming down and it's moving, these entities begin to pick it up. Now, it's a language and it's a level of emotions that these entities are devoid of. They don't have the complex neurons in the brain and they don't have the living soul to process the information from the creator because they were cut off. So, what do you think happens? And we just label oppression and possession as craziness. We just label crime and criminal behavior as craziness, when sometimes it's not that they're crazy. They're either being hijacked, oppressed, or possessed by unseen entities.
Now, is it possible that one of the things that happens to most of these people is they have missing time?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that goes back to the realm of when the entities begin to abduct, and also when the entities begin to impose. Because if let's say they're going into they're using entity, AI, technology. AI goes into the technology, technology goes into the body. If the entity wants to live through the person, they're not going to impose their realm on the person. The information is going to go this way, and the entity can then live through the person. However, this is where I think the missing time comes in if it's not your classic abduction, right? So if the entity begins to impose their ether, their realm, their timeline, their dimension onto the physical body, the person then begins to experience what? Missing time. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should answer this one question from I
Yeah.
am. What happens to our guardian angels or guides? Do they leave the
Mhm.
body? Also, what
Mhm.
happens to the soul of the person who got possessed or has an attachment?
Yeah, I am. Great name,
Mhm.
by the way. Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's start with the guardian angels or guys. I think they're always there. They remember in the in the beginning we said that we have the material plane, and then we have other dimensions, and there is life. There's life everywhere. There is even I'm learning there's even life in rocks, you know. At the rocks are alive. And I'm not just talking about crystals that we know is alive, but no,
Mm.
the rocks are alive, but they're alive in a different dimension. We have to stop this notion that the indigenous people all had it wrong. No, the indigenous people had a lot
You're
of
right.
things right. Yeah, they really did. They had some things wrong, but they had a lot of things right, right? And one of the things they had right was the earth, literal dirt, the rock, the mountain, the sands, the dirt was a living entity,
Yeah.
but it was a living entity alive in a different realm. This is why we have now, I do rock acacia or rock acacia, where you communicate with the rocks. There's water acacia, where you draw out the library, the knowledge that's stored in water. Okay, there's a whole library that's inside of the oceans that we know we have barely even scratched the surface of,
And
right?
water holds memory
Bingo, and
big
so do
time.
rocks. And so do rocks. We call it the sedimentary layers.
Oh,
Even
wow.
the trees hold memory. We call it
I
rings.
remember the first time
Yeah.
my native husband told me that the
Mm.
rocks were alive. I going, okay.
Yeah, they
You know,
are. Yeah,
I
they
know I
are.
did. I
Mhm.
found it very hard to believe at the time, but I don't feel that way anymore.
Mhm.
Everything it's amazing the more we find out.
Yeah,
And
he's right.
yeah,
The scientists call it sedimentary layer, and they can look at that sedimentary layer and they can tell you the period of history, the epoch of history that existed in the sedimentary layer of rock. Like they could tell you that there's a thin line of black silt all across the planet, and they knew that that black silt was because of a flood. There's another sedimentary layer, which is, I think, is even deeper than that. They can tell you that that sedimentary layer was when the earth went up in smoke.
I remember you had said, and I'd
Uh,
like the audience to hear that in one of the shows I watched that you were on
mhm,
about the African
mhm,
um, natives or
mhm.
people said that there were seven floods or something like. Is that right?
Yeah, the West Africans, they said, they kind of, laugh because everyone is harping about this destruction, which was the last one, which was water. And they're like, the earth went through seven of those. And I'm to the rock acacia where I am, and I'll get back to finish answering her question because I don't want her
Okay.
to think I am's question, right? I'm going to come back to I am's question, but
Okay.
where I am, the rock, and it is rock acacia, the rocks will communicate with you. And the rocks in my area left a literal library carved into the rock. And as the sun moves across the sky, you literally see like the pages of a book flip right in front of you. I kid you not. I kid you not. You can, I'm doing an excursion next year, and I want people to come to see this with their own two eyes. But to answer your question, the African said there were seven destructions. Okay, and I think it has to do with that second sun that we come into the orbit in every 27,000 years.
Yeah,
Or
about
some say it's the missing planet, what they call Nibiru. Some say no, it's actually we're a binary star system, and every 27,500 years we come into the literal orbit of that sun, and this is why the whole planet starts wobbling, that kind of stuff. So
and we're
the
right at that time now,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. And that's why we have a fork in the road. And this is what one of the reasons why, I tell people, I said, listen, whether you do your religion or not, I said, if you are not cleaning the spirit, okay, purifying the spirit from inside. And, I was like, I tried to live like a pretty, decent life. You grow up and then you start changing and you have a cleaner life, right? And I am still amazed. I've been doing this since 2015. Okay, no, actually, that's not right. I've been purifying my spirit since 2005, right? 2005. And I am shocked that we're in 2024. I am still shocked at the amount of spiritual garbage that still comes out. Okay, it's no joke, people. It's a lot. And this is why we can't fly any longer. This is why we can't fly any longer. This is why we're not telepathic any longer. This is why the unelected rulers of earth, they want telepathy and they want us to fly, but they want us to fly with a chip in our heads. Why do they want us to do the things that we were capable of doing without a chip? Why do they want us to do with a chip in our heads? So that they can control us, right? So that they can turn us into soulless drones. But back to your question, what happened to our guardian angels and our guides? Okay, so there's this realm and there's that realm. The ancestor realm, what you call guardian angels or what you call your guides. The guardian angels or your guides can be your ancestors. Okay, now let's be real. Myself, me alive today, took 1 million ancestors in order for me to be here. That's just a fact, right? You, Gail, it took 1 million ancestors for you to be here. Here's the problem with ancestors: not all of them are going to be pure, not all of them are going to be clean. Many of them are going to be corrupt as hell. If you're alive today, you had 1 million ancestors minimum behind you. Many of them are going to be corrupt. So you don't just want to tap in and call in your guardian angels or you want to call in your guides. No, you want to call in the ones that can take you on the path that you need to go. So if you know you want to go on an elevated path, you need elevated ancestor and elevated guides, and that's who you call upon, and they're all around you. Do they leave the body? They're not in the body, they're already around you. But there are elemental forces. I know this for a fact because of the amount of surveillance I'm under and the amount of entities in the government underground that for whatever reason they are after me, and I'm just like, I'm not going. But for me, I can tell you, you have guardian angels to protect you. You have guides to protect you. You have what they call nature spirits to protect you. I do not call on nature spirits because it could be very tricky. You could end up with a jinn situation. I don't make contracts with them. But what I do notice, which is what I will tell you, is that the more you purify yourself, okay, the more you begin to see them. I show them respect. I don't contract with them. I don't invite them in my spirit, but I do show them respect. Why? Because they're on a planet where everything lives. Because I show them respect, they always look out for me. So you have more than guardian angels here to help you. But I do not, I shy away from conjuring. I shy away from contracts. Don't contract with anything. And worst of all, no shedding of blood. It's the absolute lowest form of worship you could do. It's the most dangerous form.
Oh, the
And
sacrificing you're talking about.
yeah, it's do not do it. And if you find yourself that you're doing these things, my advice to you is to renounce doing this, okay? Because it's the lowest form of honor and respect you could do, because that's a whole lot of spiritual science by itself. Do not engage in blood worship. Okay, so do they leave the body? They're not in the body. They're around you. Okay. Also, what happens to the soul of the person who gets possessed? Okay, so when a person is oppressed, their soul is in their body, but their soul is feeling the density of the entities, hindering the soul from proper expression. That's oppression. What you need to do is find the source, remove the entities, the soul begins to express itself. Possession, this is the inside of the body, this is the soul in the body. The entity is inside the body, on top of the soul, and it's pushing the soul down. It's boxing the soul. It's what they call caging the soul. When you listen to people who live underground, the entities, the negative entities, as people call them, underground, they love to put the children in cages. Why? Because it represents something. What you do in the physical happens in the spirit. It means caging the soul. So when a person is possessed, their soul is caged. The entity now has complete control of the body, and the person is not in control. There are two ways this can be done. One, it can be done with an entity without technology. But the way they're doing it today is entity, AI into technology, technology into the body. Okay? So gone are the days where people are natural criminals. No, criminals are being made and created using technology in order for entities to feel what it feels like to live life as a human.
Wow. And they're always
Yeah.
after our DNA too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the DNA are key codes. You get someone's DNA. This is why I'm not criticizing any woman. I am not criticizing any woman. I'm just here to enlighten women a little bit. Abortion is not what you think it is, okay? I am not criticizing any woman's right, nor am I telling them what to do. I am not God, and I'm not interested in being God. I'm just here to let you know that when you do the act of an abortion, understand that that fetus is literally 1 million ancestors that came before you. Notice what they do after the abortion. They don't give you the fetus to give it a proper burial. You ever wondered what they do with the tissue?
Well, I've gotten an idea from what I've found out. They use it. Yeah.
Okay. And have you noticed now that women today have changed completely? And no one ever says, hey, why is it that, women are so attacked and the nature of women have changed completely? Let me tell you something. You see the fetus? That fetus is not just your DNA. They know what they're doing. They know that that fetus is 1 million ancestors before you. You just handed over 1 million lineages that come from you to people you don't know who they are and what they do. Think about it.
Wow.
So if you do decide to have an abortion, my advice to you is to take the fetus, apologize to it for whatever reason, okay, and give it a proper burial at least. I would not hand over the tissue to these people. Think about it. Why would
Wow.
you hand over 1 million ancestors before you? Have you ever thought about that?
No.
Yeah,
I've never actually heard anybody say that before
yeah.
about a million ancestors behind you.
That's what's in the
The
child.
DNA.
That's what's
Wow.
in the DNA. The DNA in that child is sorry, it's 2 million. Everyone who came before your mother and all of the males and the females That's, I think, over 72 generations, which add up to 1 million people. That's on your mother's side. Let's go to your father's side. That's 1 million people on your father's side, all in that one fetus. So that's 2 million ancestors. You just hand it over to a medical facility and you don't know what they're doing with that tissue. And you just think it's just a piece of tissue. They don't see it like that.
Yeah, you
They,
think they discard it, but they don't.
no, they don't. You know what they do? They tap into that genetic code. How do you think these people get rich? You just handed me over 2 million of your ancestors' DNA. Not just your DNA. Your DNA are key codes. You just handed me the key of life to 2 million ancestors. How do you think they get rich? They tap into the genetic code. You wonder why you're poor and why they're rich. You just handed them over 2 million of your ancestors in the form of a tissue. You think they're going to bury that? No, they're going to make money off of it. And they're going to harness the energy from 72 generations, 72 plus generations, maybe even more. They're going to harness the energy from 72 plus generations, which is about 1 million people. And they're going to convert that energy towards them. And you're sitting there wondering, hold on, why am I poor? Why is there mental illness in my family? Why is it I can't keep a husband? Why is it for many women I can't give birth again? You think they're just putting that fetus into a nice little burial? That's not what they do. They know what they're doing. They're occultists. Think about it.
Wow, that is very interesting thinking.
Mm.
New England Dirt Roadie says is getting off by psychopharma it can be far more dangerous than going on them.
Yeah,
Get
especially.
addicted.
Mhm. Yeah, especially if you've been on it for a long time. So I always tell people one of the best things to do is never go cold turkey, but detox baths. Detox baths. Because you can, okay, when you go through the stomach, right? So you, let's say you go through a detox through the stomach, okay? First of all, is the stomach ready for a detox? No. Okay. You got to remember that our stomach has been altered. Okay. No matter how organic you eat in the northern hemisphere, you're still eating GMOs, right?
They
You're
got it
still
in
eating,
everything. Yeah.
it's in everything. And if you're not eating it, you're breathing it. The air is GMO, the air is fake. So if you try to detox through the stomach, you got to understand that your stomach is not what it was 30 years ago. So, but one of the things you can do, which is the largest organ or the second largest organ on the body, is detox through the skin. This is a reason why your ancestors used to bathe instead of shower. Why did all the ancient civilizations practice baths? And why is it that the baths, bathing, was not just about immersing yourself in water? They connected baths with repairing the spirit. Why is it all the ancients? It's called balneotherapy. Balneotherapy. Let's see if I can write this here. I'm going to write it in the private chat, okay?
Okay. I'll put it in
Balneotherapy.
the chat.
Mhm. And I used to do this for people. Let me know if you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. So balneotherapy, right?
I never heard of it before, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's the art of spiritual bathing. So they still practice this in Japan. They practice this in Turkey. The ancient Greeks did it. The ancient Romans did it. They, okay, if you're religious and you believe in the Bible, it's called ritual baths. The ancient Africans still do it today, and you don't bathe with soap. Okay, no saponification. Okay, which is the bubbles. No, you bathed in herbs, right? Because bathing to the ancients, and the biggest, the most famous person who taught about water rituals was Jesus. It's called a baptism. What happened when Jesus was baptized? Allegedly, when Jesus was baptized, and he was baptized in salt water. You want to know what, and I'm not religious, okay? But you want to know what salt water is good for?
Removing
Removing
entities.
the
Oh, yeah.
hocus pocus. The salt water is good for disabling the myocarditis, right?
Right. Wow.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, so one of the most famous ritual bathers was John the Baptist, right? And he bathed the Christ. And he baptized him in what? Salt water. So people, one of the best ways, and what was that bath? They told you the bath was a ritual purification rite, right? So if you want to understand detoxing, study balneotherapy. Balneotherapy. Why? Because going through the stomach is going to take some time. First of all, if you're trying to repair your body through your stomach and you haven't dealt with parasites, fungus, yeast, mold, you're wasting your time. If you're trying to go through the stomach and not understanding after you deal with those four, okay, which is like, oh my God, then you got to go into the blood. You got to go clean up the blood, push oxygen into the blood, okay? Got to you don't just go into the stomach, you got to go into the blood. There's ways to go into the blood, okay? And one of the best ways to go into the blood is aloe, the aloe plant, right? But there is an easier way in which you can detox, and that is what the ancients did. And they used balneotherapy. Balneotherapy.
That's
Okay.
amazing, and I've never heard of it.
Which is the
I mean, I
art of.
knew about salt baths, but I didn't know,
Mhm.
I haven't heard that terminology before.
Yeah, it's the art of ritual bathing, which is bathing in herbs. And here's the most powerful thing about herbs and water. Herbs and water. All of the ancient spiritualists, all of them, all of them, all of them, including in your Bible and in your Quran. David, for example, in the Bible, when he wanted to purify his body from evil actions, what did he do? He bathed in an herb called hyssop.
It's just help. I've heard of that.
Hyssop.
Just help.
Hyssop. What do you think he was doing with hyssop? That's balneotherapy. And what does hyssop do? Hyssop does two things. Hyssop pulls out toxins out of the body and pulls out toxins out of the spirit. When you take a real herbal bath, and I used to do this for people, literally. Okay. When you do an herbal bath, when you get out of that bathtub, you literally feel an entity lift up off of you, and it's like, okay, I can't stay here because there's a language in which herbs communicate and herbal formulas communicate. It's an actual language, okay? It's a light language that they communicate with. Then you have the language of the water. When you combine the two, if you know what you're doing, you can get rid of oppression, you can get rid of what they call sickness, you can get rid of what they call dis-ease, you can get rid of possession. You can repair the body, the skin starts glowing, you reverse aging. Don't get me started on cleaning the colon. You don't just want to go through the stomach. The number one thing you want to go through if you really want to repair the body is that colon. The colon, the blood, and the skin. That's the best ways if you want to detox. You want to detox through colon, blood, skin. That's my advice. And for the skin, balneotherapy. Look into it, and the right combination of herbs, you'll see the difference. You'll be off those drugs in no time.
What are the, if you don't
Mhm.
mind, what different kinds of herbs are used for that
Sure, let me see
besides the
here.
hyssop?
Yeah, I can give you guys a list. I mean, I can give you some of the herbs that I used to use, okay? Spearmint and peppermint, okay? Spearmint and peppermint on the body, what it does is it literally it when it, the auric field, okay? When you want to lighten your auric field, you want to open up spearmint, the mint family. Okay. So that's good. It's like spearmint and the mint herbs is like a cool breeze. Have you ever smelled mint?
Oh yeah, I love mint.
It's like a
Um,
it's like a breeze, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It feels like a breeze, like passing through. Okay, so spearmint and peppermint, that's what it does for the spirit. So that's a combination you want to use. Okay.
Would
I also
essential oils work in the water?
Yeah, essential oils are good, but trust me when I tell you herbs is what you want to use
It's
when you
better.
want to. Yeah, it's a totally different level. Like essential oils will clean the body. We're talking about changing the whole human constitution. Okay, with you're changing the whole human spirit, the whole human body. Okay, that's when you get into balneotherapy, right? Okay, so some of the herbs that I use are spearmint, peppermint, so the herb family, oregano. You want to use your astringent herbs is when you want to deal with things like yeast, parasite, mold, fungi, right? So that's when you use your astringent herbs, things like your ginger, things like your I just said it. They just, they just literally wiped my brain. Let me pull up my list for you, okay? They literally just like zap, and I don't remember anything. Hold on one second.
I have that happen to me sometimes.
I mean, they just literally zap my brain. Oh my God. Hold on one second here. Let me see if I can pull it up,
That's
okay?
why one time I felt like somebody punched me in the throat when I was doing a show. And
Oh
it,
my
like, it,
God. I
yeah.
believe you. I believe you because usually they like to like zap me in my head. Let me see. Is it this one? Hold on. Let's see if I can pull it up as a photo. I sent it to some. I don't make it anymore, but I'll give you guys the ingredients, okay? Hold on one second here. I'm just gonna try to pull up the card here. Hold on. Ah, found it. It's your lucky day. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Okay, great. All right. So mint leaves, coconut oil, black seed oil. Okay, black seed oil. According to Muhammad, there's nothing black seed oil can take care of, and black seed oil is really good for the C word.
Ah, okay.
When the cells start splitting way too much, and you need to slow down mitosis and
That
meiosis.
turbo thing they talk about.
Yeah, TurboTax. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So turmeric. Bathing with turmeric. Okay. Drinking turmeric is good for what? Neurology. Okay. But what allows your neurons to fire off? An active central nervous system, right? So turmeric. Okay, bay leaves. Okay, bay leaves are one of the most famous leaves. Okay, for spiritual cleansing. Okay, they call it bay leaves. Yes, that's you put your intent into the water. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lenny. So bay leaves is something that you want to put in. Bay leaves is famous for spiritual baths. Many people believe that bay leaf is like they call it I think they call it herba santa. Bay leaves, the holy herb, okay? Because bay leaves is it gets you close to God. That's what a lot of ancients say, right? So bay leaves, that's one of the things. Remember, I
I've heard
told you about
people
your
burn them too. Bay leaves they burn them.
yeah, yeah, they do, yeah, because they for whatever reason the ancients believe that bay leaves are like it gets a person closer to God. Why, I don't know, but there's a very, very spiritual pathway between Bailey's and the divine, right? So I told you about oregano, the astringent, one of the
Mhm.
astringent, right? Okay, so rosemary,
Oh,
eucalyptus is astringent as well. Okay, eucalyptus leaves, arnica flower, okay, linden flower, cumin, chamomile soothes the body just like linden, the linden flower. These are soothing, okay, soothing herbs. Annatto seeds. Annatto seeds are the little red seeds. Okay, annatto seeds, they are zapping me in my head and erasing my memory. Okay, I'll just tell you what it's for, okay? It's probably gonna come back. Okay, rosemary. Okay, holy basil. So you have bay and you have basil. Bay and basil. Okay? And holy basil is the holy herb. And star anise and linden tea. Sorry, they just zapping me in my head. So that's the old formula that I was using to bathe in. Now I'll tell you how to do it. Okay. What you want to do is if you can get all of those together, you got to blend it into fine powder. You want to blend it into fine powder. Okay. Or you can crush it, but it's more potent when you blend it, right? So when you blend it, you put like a cup in a large pot, put it at the bottom of the pot, you fill it with water, and then you boil until the aroma is in the entire house. Smelling it. When I used to make this and I used to bathe people, okay? meaning they would literally come get the herbs and they would bathe, right? You can go read up about it on my website. And no, I'm not selling anything. I'm telling you how to do it because people need this, okay? The smell alone, if you're oppressed, will make entities run. Okay?
Oh,
I'm
that's
being
weird.
serious. If you're oppressed, okay? Boiling it in your house, the entities run. I don't know why, I don't know what, but this formula does that, okay? Yeah, basil. That's basil and bay leaves. These are the two god herbs, okay?
Is that holy basil or just regular basil?
Holy basil, holy basil, basil, holy basil, and bay leaves. These are the three that are very close to the divine. Why?
Oh,
I don't know.
so regular basil is okay too.
Yeah, basil.
Okay.
Okay, but dried people, dried, not fresh, not fresh, dried. Okay, if
Oh,
it's
okay.
fresh, yeah, if it's fresh, you drink it. If it's you need it dried, right? So when it's dry, so it's your dry herbs, okay, you blend it into a fine powder, or you could just buy it as a powder, right? Buy them as a powder, right? Okay, so then you put it in a pot, big boiling pot, and you boil it and let the aroma fill the house. That alone changes the frequency in the house. If
And
you're
entities
oppressed,
don't like certain
they
frequencies.
run.
They don't like sage either, do they?
No, they run. Not only do they run, your energetic field starts changing. Then once you bring it to a boil, the aroma will fill the house. It will change your brain. Okay? You fill the tub with hot water and then you pour the boiling water into the tub. Okay? You can cool it. Make sure it's a temperature. Don't burn yourself, okay? Make sure it's a temperature that you can go into the hot, but you want it warm to hot, not scalding, but enough for you to lay in the tub. Then you go into the tub. Do not use soap on your skin. Do not use soap on your skin. Do not use soap on your skin. Do not use soap because it is a different frequency. Okay.
Ah,
Do
okay.
not use soap. If you want to bathe, you bathe before. You do not bathe after. So if you want to use soap, you bathe before, then you take the herbal bath. You go down in there, you get if you can get your head under, and you stay. I don't stay under 45 minutes. Don't keep your head underwater 45 minutes. But if you can go down and get your head under there, okay? When you come out of that tub, I guarantee you will write me and you will say, Renetta, I'm a brand new person. I guarantee it. Try it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
yeah. I'll send
taken
it to you.
salt
I,
baths,
I'll
but
send it to you.
oh, please do.
Yeah.
I've never I've done salt baths before, but I haven't done I haven't
Salt
done a
baths,
drink bath.
yes, salt baths are great. The only thing salt baths will do is relax you. They'll pull out a couple of toxins. If you want to become a new person with a new spirit and you want your abilities to come online like that, do it.
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
trying.
have to try it. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. If I still had it, I'd send it. I'd send you a pack and just whatever. But just buy it. But make sure you buy it the right way. Make sure you buy it as a powder or buy it dry and then blend it. Follow this. I'll send you. I'll just send it to you. Okay, because I need people to start taking these baths. When you get out of that tub and you stay in there 45 minutes until the water cools. Okay, it's a little bit messy, but it's an herbal bath. Okay, so when you're done, you're gonna wash out the tub. It's a little bit messy, but it's an herbal bath. Okay, it's not a big deal. You clean the tub, yada yada yada. But when you get out of there, and then the next day when you wake up and you're like, okay, okay, I'm not the same person in my body. I'm a totally different person. Okay, when
Wow,
yeah, you'll see.
that's
Your spirit is
fascinating.
different. Your skin, you reverse aging. Okay, I'm almost 50 years old. Okay, you don't age.
I
I'm
need
telling
some.
you. Yeah, you don't have to take these things not to age. I'm telling you. You don't want to age, you just do three things. Clean the blood, clean the colon. You have to clean the colon every night. That's a whole different formula. The easiest way to clean the colon, if you want to keep your colon healthy, is at night you get mangoes, okay? And you eat the mango rind. You eat the mango skin, okay? That in by the next day, your body will flush and your body will literally flush out so much waste. you're like, hold on. I didn't even I'm not trying to be gross. I'm telling you.
I can't believe I had all that in me, right?
Literally. No, I'm being honest with you. I was shocked, when I started to, I mean, we used to do it as a kid, but I didn't, when you're a kid, you're like, your parents tell you to do some crazy stuff. And you're like, really, the best way to just keep your colon clean every day is just eat the mango with the skin. Your whole body will begin to regenerate. Okay? I'm telling you, it will reverse age you just cleaning the colon. The second thing you want to clean, which is with aloe, is the blood. Okay, not too much aloe. And if you're on pharmaceuticals, I don't advise this. And if you're on blood thinners, I don't advise this. This is not medical advice. Not medical advice. Okay.
Yes,
So
that's
if
our
you
disclaimer.
yeah. So if you want to reverse aging, you reverse aging by cleaning the blood periodically, not all the time, periodically.
And you're
Okay.
saying aloe for cleaning the blood?
Yep, aloe.
How do you drink it, or you put it
Yeah,
on your
you can put
skin?
it
Or
in tea. You can put it like get a fresh aloe. Okay,
that's
real
one.
aloe.
Yeah, that's one
Okay.
thing that grows really well here.
Oh
I
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
a
You're in the
bunch of
desert.
aloe plants actually.
Yeah. Aloe. So you get
Have to use
aloe.
them.
Yeah, you cut it up. Okay, you blend it, and then you could just a tiny bit. Okay, but just okay. I'm gonna get a little bit fresh
Oh,
here, and I'm not being vulgar. Listen, I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Okay, so you take aloe, right? The aloe will flush you like the mango. It may flush you even more. So you take just a tiny bit, not a lot. Okay, you don't need a lot because when you start flushing, you're gonna be like, oh my God, all of this was inside of me. So this is what I mean when I say you can't go through the skin, the stomach, okay? Because the stomach there's a whole different way you go through the stomach when you purify the body, okay? Here's the thing with aloe. If you're a woman, your vagina is gonna get extremely wet.
mm.
Okay. So just be aware. That's why I said take a very little bit, not a lot. And I'm not trying to be vulgar. I am telling you. Okay. That's what's going to happen when you take aloe. So a lot of people in the Caribbean and a lot of people in Africa, a lot of women, that's why they take aloe.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. So aloe, but little at a time. Another one you can use for the same effect is okra, but not a lot of people really like okra. I like okra.
I don't like okra myself.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not a lot of people use okra.
It's
So
too
that's another
slimy, but I guess aloe's kind of slimy that way
aloe
too.
is yeah, aloe is slimy too, but you put it in like a tea, so you don't really taste it, right? So you can put it in like a really like a spicy tea, so you don't
Let's
really
try
taste
that
it. And
because
just
I've
a
got a bunch
little
of
bit, not a lot, just a little bit, because I'm telling you, it's going to start working the next day. You're gonna flush, but it's also gonna leave your vagina extremely wet. Be aware of that. That's why I said take a little bit. Okay. But here's what aloe does. So aloe cleans the blood. And in the Caribbean, they say when you want to clean the blood, you got to use bitter herbs. Bitter herbs clean the blood, right? And yes, you can clean the blood. You see, these are things they don't tell people.
No, they
What do you
don't.
think? Yeah, what do you think these wealthy people, when they go and they pull all the blood out of their bodies and they have it pass through light and then it filters back into their bodies? What do you think they're doing? They're cleaning the blood. So, a lot of people say, oh, no, you can't clean the blood. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Right?
Wow.
So, aloe, yeah, aloe is one of them, and aloe combinations. That's
And
another thing.
what's nice
Mhm.
about this is it's not something that's that expensive. You
No,
know.
it's not. And if you have
And
a boyfriend, he'll be really happy. Well, if you take the aloe, my advice to you is if you take the aloe, okay, you're gonna want to do something like a fruit. Because remember, you're dealing with plants, right? So your body. Once you start cleaning out your body, whatever you put in comes out, right? Aloe is a little bit bitter.
mhm.
So what do you want to do? You want to do something like cranberry juice. You want to do something like a non-acidic juice. You see what I'm saying? And if you have a boyfriend, he's gonna be very happy. Yeah.
Interesting.
I hope that's
Very.
okay. It's okay if I talk
Uh,
about that?
oh yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, good. I hope I
Um,
didn't embarrass anyone. Sorry.
no, it's life. I mean, it's part of life. Why can't we
It
talk
is.
about it?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, we're adults, right? Yeah. So if you want to reverse aging, you don't have to do all this foolishness. Three things: clean the colon. Try to clean the colon every night. You will see what I'm telling you. Try to clean the colon every night. Try to clean the blood once a month, once every couple of months, and take herbal baths. These are the three things. You will see your body reverse age. And you have to do it because we're living in, especially in the United States,
We're the
Canada,
worst.
Europe, we are bathing in radiation, and radiation is known to cause cells to split at a much faster rate, which causes aging.
We're
Okay?
being microwaved,
We're
basically.
being,
We're radiation poisoning. So
we're
we
being
have a
poisoned.
lot of detoxing to do. And you
Yeah.
go to a regular doctor, they don't even talk about that. They make it
Yeah.
sound like that's something woo woo, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you're
And
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the whole
it's true.
medical profession, I learned this the hard way. The whole medical profession was changed. If you go into the hospital and you tell them you're suffering with pain, pain now is classified as a mental illness. They will claim that you're crazy. You need to
Really?
understand
I
that.
didn't
Yes.
know that.
Do not go into a hospital claiming you have pain. The medical code now for pain is mental illness. They will put you in a hold and they will write you down as crazy, and they will try to drug you. Mental illness, pain, they say pain cannot be proven. So they're claiming now that it's mental illness, and there's a reason why they're doing this, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why they're doing this is because of all these damn towers, which is causing people excess inflammation, and excess inflammation and free radicals in the body does what? Create pain.
Yeah, wow.
So they have the medical profession lined up to label you a nutcase. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I like this super patch that I carry. There is a pain
Mm,
patch,
mm,
and it's got nothing in it. I
mm.
mean, it's just a
Yeah,
brain code. That's a whole
yeah.
different thing. But
And if you start
it's
taking
fascinating.
baths, it's gonna go away.
If
I'm
what?
telling you. If you start bathing in the herbs I tell you to bathe, it's gonna get rid of your pain. I'm telling you. Pain is caused by two things: inflammation, free radicals. You get rid of those two, your pain goes down substantially. I did it with myself. I listen, you are talking to the person that they hit with that bioweapon in 2016. Okay. They unleashed it on you guys in 2019. They hit me with it in 2016. They hit my friend with it in 2012. Okay?
You're talking
I am
about the biosensors
the
or the
bioweapon,
bioweapon?
the thing that caused the planet to lock down.
Uh, oh,
Yeah.
you mean they made you do
No,
this?
I didn't take the
Oh,
hocus pocus. The thing that
oh, okay,
was before the hocus pocus.
okay,
That led up, okay. The C19,
yeah.
the Coca-Cola 19. Right. So they hit me. It's a bioweapon. They hit me with that bioweapon. Okay. In 2015, sorry, not 2015. I wasn't in the United States. In 2016, when I came back to the United States, the left hemisphere of my brain was like this. My face was like this. I'll show you the pictures.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Okay. I
That
was
happened.
paralyzed on a bed for 2 months. Okay.
Wow. And they did this with frequency?
They did this with spraying me with a bioweapon and hitting me with weapons. And I had third-degree burn marks on my legs from radiation burns from them hitting me with a weapon in New York. Look at my face. You see? Perfectly aligned. You see?
Hmm.
Right? I have no scarring. I'll tell you how to get rid of radiation burns. When you get burned from radiation, you have to bathe in baking soda. Look at my skin. There's no makeup except for my lipstick and my liner. Look. Okay. Okay. My face was like this.
There were
Weapon.
other people that had that happen to them too, and I don't know if they got rid of it.
And I told them how to get rid of it. I told them they have to do herbal baths, balneotherapy. There's a reason why the ancients did it. And there's a reason why they don't want people bathing anymore. Get into bathing.
They stop. Yeah, they stop. Now they don't. They just have showers.
Now they
Um,
just,
a lot of times in apartments, especially.
mm,
And Lenny says that. Look what she said. She did. She put herbs into a gauze and put it over the shower head. It's not as good, but it's better than nothing.
it's better than nothing, but you got to get into the herbs. You got to bathe. You got to get under that herbal water. Trust me when I tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And
Well.
you're going to start reverse. I had someone who was severely reverse aging because of the weapons they had on them. And I gave them the herbs. I stopped making it now because it's a lot of work, but I gave them the herbs. And after a week, okay, they suffered with debilitating pain, and they suffered with what's this thing? Impairment, like they couldn't walk properly. Okay. They called me up the first day they did it. They called me up the next day and they said, Rainetta, I can't stop running up and down. Okay, partially, I don't want to say crippled, but partially crippled.
Mhm.
Okay. And I told them, I said, listen, don't follow your body running up and down. I said, your brain has to catch up. They said, Renetta, they went from being literally partially crippled, called me, Renetta, what the hell did you put in this thing? I said, I told you. They were running up and down like I have not been able to exercise like this in 20 something years. I am telling you what to do. And I'm telling you for free. And I don't want your money. Just go out there and do it. Bathe in the herbs. Thank me later.
Wow.
And it reversed age. They were suffering with severe wrinkles, aging, but it's
Mhm, mhm.
artificial aging. Okay, women, the aging is artificial. We're being bathed in metals and we're being radiated. It's artificial aging. Okay, and I'm telling you what to do. She
And
called me. She said, Renetta, I'm 20 years younger. I said, I told you. She started to reverse age.
wow. Was
How
she
did she
bathing
do it?
each day
I,
or?
I gave her the herbs. She would bathe in it every day. Every day. Every day she would bathe in it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what to do. You don't need to do all of this hocus pocus nonsense. Just clean your colon every night or every other night. And I told you how to do it. It's very simple. Clean your blood every couple of months. And once every couple of weeks, bathe in an herbal bath. That's it.
Wow.
And you will start to reverse age. I'm
I'm gonna
telling you.
try that.
Yeah, do it. And
I
thank me later.
will.
Look,
I sure
look,
will.
I can, yeah, look. Let me just show you here. Let's see. Let me see if I have it up, okay? Let me see if I have it up. I'm not selling you anything. I just want you to read. Okay, this one is the internal. All right, let me go back to the old formula. Hold on. If you go on my website and you go herbal internal wash, okay? I'm gonna give you the webpage. Just go
Oh,
under the herbal. Don't buy anything. Just and that formula, the internal wash is new. Okay, let me give you the.
okay. If you put it in private chat, I'll put it
Yeah.
in the chat.
Okay. You don't have to buy anything. I don't want you to buy anything. Just go back to page like 34. Let's see here. Page 34. Okay, start at like page 34 and go back 34, 33, 32, 31. Read the comments of when I used to sell it. Read it. I don't sell it anymore. I'm not asking you to buy anything. Just go and read the comments. I told you how to make it and do it. Thank me later. All right?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? This has been a fascinating topic, but I think what we should do is
Mhm.
I should have you back on and we
Yeah,
can
sure.
talk about the rocks.
Oh
And
yeah, 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 definitely.
because one of the things that I wanted, I did a show with Thunderbeat,
Mhm,
Deborah Thunderbeat, and
mhm,
she's native, and
mhm,
she has written a book and
mhm,
taken pictures. She had faces. It's called Faces in the Rocks, and
Mm.
the rocks spoke to her,
Yes, they do.
and she's identified a lot of them, and they tend to be Egyptian
They are.
people.
She's telling the truth.
Yeah,
You want me to show you one of them
yeah, sure.
that revealed? Okay. Okay, I gotta share my screen. Let me see. Can I share my screen here?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you this one. Photos. I'm gonna show you Akhenaten, who came to me, who revealed himself to me, his resting place, right where I live. Yes, she's telling the absolute truth. Let me find Akhenaten for you. Okay, let's see this one here. I gotta share my screen. I gotta find the right one. Hold on. Okay, 1 second here.
Have you
Bear
ever
with me.
been to Sedona?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about. So I went to Sedona up by the airport, right?
Hmm.
And me and these mountains and these rocks. I took some
Right.
pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have I call them the Sedona Giants, right? So you go up to the airport and you look. Pharaoh, if you look at 12 o'clock, you're up by the airport. In front of you is 12 o'clock. Okay, look 2 o'clock. There is a giant Native American skull. Inside of the skull is an Egyptian pharaoh staring at you. He's at 2 o'clock. Okay, you know the lookout point in Sedona up at the airport? Okay,
Yeah.
you go right where they put in the what do you call this thing? I forgot what it's called.
Those-
Okay,
yeah. I don't know what they're called either, but I know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah, lookout, whatever, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's 12 o'clock. That's 12 o'clock. You look 2 o'clock. I have his picture. There's a huge native skull with a traditional Native American nose, because they have the bridge on the nose here, right? And inside of him at 2:45, you got to go there at 2:45. He comes out and you see Pharaoh staring at you. I have his picture. I have to go dig to find it, but I have it, right? Now, if you look 12 o'clock, when you go up there, because I'm gonna do the Arizona Titans. 12 o'clock, there is an entity carved into the rock. I have his picture. At his bottom right is an owl. My friend found the owl. I looked at him. I said, "Oh my God, what is he doing in Arizona?" He, in my country, is called Papa Bois. He is the guardian of the woods, and he's carved into a mountain in Arizona in Sedona, and he's red. I kid you not.
Wow.
Yep, it's
Thunderbeat,
incredible.
and you have quite a time talking. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Okay, I'm gonna pull him up for you. I want you guys to see him, right? So he revealed himself to me. Let's see if I can find his video. Hold on. Okay, I think this is the video. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the video. Okay. Oops. All right, let me share screen. Okay. Window. Okay. Let me share screen. Okay. Let me know if you're seeing my video.
Okay. There, I just brought
Okay.
it up.
Do you see?
Oh,
Okay, you
he's
see him,
laying
right?
there, right?
Yeah.
He's laying down.
Yeah, let's see him.
Yeah.
Watch this. This is his resting place. Okay. It's three of them. Watch this. You're gonna see Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and their child. Do you see them? You see him? Let me show
Yes,
you.
I do. Yes, I
His
do.
eyes is
Yep.
Akhenaten's eye is up here, and then he has the makeup, the eyeliner, right? Nefertiti's eye is here. Do you see her? Okay, hold on. Let me turn it a little bit more. Do you see them? His
Wow.
nose.
How did they end up in the rocks anyway?
But remember, what do you think the pyramids are? The pyramids are what? Stone mountain. Stone mountain. The pyramids are there to represent mountains. Mountains always represent the gods, and mountains always represent kings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mountain is always a sign of the ancients, kings, and the gods. So that's one of the things the ancients did is they carved themselves into mountains. Do you see his pharaonic beard? The beard right here.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm pointing at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this one, right? Maybe this one might be, let's see here. This one might be better. Let's see. Okay. I have to stop presenting and share again. Hold on. All right, let's look at this one. Okay. Okay, you gotta let me
Oh
present.
yeah, I just got to put it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this one better? Do you see him?
Yeah, I see them. I still see them. I saw
Yeah.
them before though. Yeah. Well, I started looking more closely when I
Mm.
did the thing with Thunderbeat because
Yep.
there's a whole bunch of them here in
Oh, yeah, they're
Sudan.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they kept their secrets. Now, in my area, they're not just mountains, they have books telling ancient history. They have literal books carved into the mountains. And as the sun moves through the sky, you literally see this story unfold in front. It's the most spectacular thing. You're like, oh my God, this is a book. Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not just a carving. It's literally what they did is they literally hid their history in the mountains because they know that people wouldn't pay attention. And the people who would see would say, oh no, I'm crazy or I'm making stuff up. And, they know most people wouldn't take it seriously. So they
Yeah.
hid the ancient knowledge carved into the mountains. And there's so many books. I call it rock acacia or rock acacia in my area. So many books telling an ancient story in my area. And as you sit there and you watch the sun move across the sky, you're like, oh my goodness, this is a book. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
as the sun moves,
Yeah.
you see different, you see more
Yeah,
depending on
you
what time
see
of the day it
it.
is and so on. Yeah,
Yep, yep. And they come alive. You got it right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you got it
just
right.
fascinating.
So it's really, it's really a fascinating, amazing, like let me stop
It is.
presenting.
No, I
Yeah.
remember there was also
Yeah.
some. I'm referring back to
Mm.
the show you did with James Rink,
Yeah.
and on those stairs that you showed, and how big those stairs were, huge. And then I
Yeah.
remember he was trying to guess about the size of the people.
Mhm,
But now I just read from
mhm,
someone else that there were people that
mhm.
were as tall as 300 feet.
Yeah. That's what's in my area. So here's what I think from what the rocks told me, okay? When they were revealing to me the ancient history, right? They said to me that this was in the days of the Titans. The Titans gave birth to the giants. Not
Okay.
all the giants were going around eating people, okay? And I can come back on and I can talk about that story, but it's a
I
really
think we
fascinating.
should.
Yeah.
Does that include Tartaria or
Yeah,
is it different?
I have to look into Tartaria because from what I gather, the Tartarian buildings are built for giants. They're not built for titans.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. I would agree. From what
yeah.
I've seen, they're not as big as the
No, they
Titans
can't
would be. Yeah.
house it's
Yeah.
a
They
Tartarian
were just
building.
regular giants.
Yeah, that's for giants, not titans. Titans, you're looking at, the titans are the size of mountains.
Yeah.
Like the titans in my area, the size of mountains. Okay, let me show you the latest titan. You want me to show you the latest titan that I who revealed himself to me last week?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So let's take a look at him. Let's see. Yeah, I downloaded him. Hold on. I'm just gonna show you this one so you guys can have an idea. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I gotta get a good picture. Hold on. So I've been going to this mountain for years, and he finally revealed himself to me. Let's see here. Okay. And then my friend in the area, he told me, oh, that's a Mohican. Hmm?
Really?
Yep. He said, that's the Mohican. Okay. All right. Do you see him here? Look at the nose. Flat, broad nose.
Oh, I see now. Yeah.
See his eyes?
Sometimes I have to back up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to back up. Yeah. See his eyes here?
Yep.
His nose. He has a broad, flat nose.
Yeah.
This is a Mohican. My friend said to me, oh, I know. And he's indigenous to this area. He said, oh, I know this tribe. That's a
And I
Mohican.
see his lips. Yeah.
And his lips. Yeah. Let me tell you the fascinating thing about these titans, right? So he told me his story, and he said his story was he was a prince and he was killed by the god in that area. And the people, he said there was an artist that carved him into the mountain, and this was 5,700 years ago. But I said to him, I said, are you sure these because this whole thing, I call this the indigenous Mount Rushmore. This
Ah,
one here, this one here, he comes out when the sun is out. But what notice it's cloudy here. When it's cloudy, he goes to sleep. You can't see him. It was cloudy this day and he came out. Okay, now look at this. There's
okay.
one here. This is a profile. Look, you see the eyes, the nose,
Oh, yeah. Now I do.
the mouth. You see it? Do you see him? Eyes.
Yes.
Let me
Eyes.
let
Yeah.
me let's see if I can draw him here. Edit image. It's gonna be a little small, but mark up. All right, let's see. So you guys can see, right? I'll tell you the story really quickly because I think it's fascinating, right? So his eye is eye, eyes, and then his nose, right here. It's a profile. You see it?
Yep.
And then he has a beard. You see him?
Yep. Well, you made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Right? I have videos of them, but really quickly, I'll tell you the story, right? So his story is he was a prince in the area, Mohican prince, who was killed by the gods, and it was some kind of love story between him and his lover, right? This whole region are the ancient kings, but it's done in a way like a book. Okay, it's like the pages of a book, but what turns the book is the sun, the clouds. Okay, and I haven't been there when it's raining. Okay, so as the sun moves across the sky, it tells a story. Different ones come out. When it's
That's true.
cloudy, yeah, when it's cloudy, different ones come out, right?
I've
And I
seen
haven't
that
been here.
here in Sedona. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So you, when you see them with your own two eyes, you cannot say this is paradolia. No, you're like, this is something very intelligent that did this. So you're the first person I debuted this mountain of the Titans for. But they told me their story. When I come back, I'll tell you the story about these incredible mountains and what happened to them and the warning, not just the story, but the warning they gave to the human race. And I'll tell you the
Ooh.
story in short because yeah. So basically, one of the mountains, the queen of this area, and she's by herself. So this set of mountains are male. It's all the male rulers going back thousands of years that was in this area. Okay. There's a female ruler who once ruled this area. And she told me the story. She said, tell the people of the earth. She said, your problem is not with people. She said, your problem is with the race of shape shifting serpents. Okay.
The
She said,
reptilians.
yeah. And she said, this shape shifting serpent, they killed her. Okay. And her spirit now lives in the mountain, right? And she told me, she said, tell the human race this is what they do. And she said to tell the human race that we're at a pivotal point in time because the way they come in is they come in looking like people you know to get the DNA. She said, once they get the DNA, then they exterminate. She said, the human race is at the extermination phase. She said, the way in which you tell when this serpent race infiltrates a group is that they try to bring the group, the nation, or the people under a blood covenant. And she said, tell the people of the earth they must abandon bloodshed.
Oh,
Bloodshed. The blood sacrifice.
like they're going to sacrifice those heifers, that kind of thing.
That
The
is,
red heifers. Yeah.
and that is,
That kind of thing.
and what she said to me, she said, the race of the serpent shapeshifters, which Jesus also said. She said, the race, the stronghold where that serpent race dwells is among the people who want to sacrifice the red heifer.
Yeah.
It's among them. That's where the stronghold is.
Yeah. The head of the
you know,
snake, so to speak.
the head of the snake. She said it is among those people. She said we have, she said, tell the human race they must abandon blood sacrifice. But when I say blood sacrifice, not necessarily eating. You eat meat, you die, insects eat you. That's the cycle of life. Okay. What is not the cycle of life is taking a human life thinking a deity is going to pardon your sins. No, that's not the cycle of life. Okay. That's a corrupted ideology. Or using blood to shield yourself, or using blood to get money and power, or just killing for fun because some of the people on the planet are sick. So she said, listen, she said, the human race must abandon. We must abandon this blood sacrifice. She said, because we're at a precipice now where they got the DNA and now they're doing
They
the extermination.
PCR tests. I read that
Mm.
that test gave the DNA to China
And, you
for
know,
almost everybody that had it done. That's almost the entire
the 6 billion
planet.
people,
Yeah.
6 billion people, 6 or 7 billion people got their DNA harvested. But let me tell you the real truth about where that DNA went. The China is a front.
Okay.
China is being
Um,
blamed for stuff that goes back to the red heifer people.
okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, I
This
know the people are good. It's just the governments is where the
No,
real
the people are
infiltration.
corrupt too. No, no, no. The people are
Oh,
corrupt.
really? All of
It's
them?
the people who put in their governments.
Oh,
Think
okay.
of,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the people who put in their government. So the people are just as corrupt as you get the government that you choose. A government reflects the people and the people reflect the government. If the government is tyrannical, you put them there. If you don't want a tyrannical government, you get rid of
Like
them.
right now, why don't we get rid of what we got right now?
Because we allowed them to become tyrannical. They didn't become tyrannical on their own. We saw them becoming tyrannical,
So many
but we
people
didn't
are
care.
asleep.
But we no, we didn't care because they were doing it to people outside of the United States. It's when they started to do it to us, we were like, "Whoa, you're not supposed to take away our rights. You're supposed to be doing it to those people over there." We did it,
Yeah.
but people
Being
don't want to.
accountable for what the
But we
mistakes
did
we
it.
made. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is why we need to purify from from what Sleetsy said. You cannot want oppression for people in other countries and want freedom in yours. That's not how the planet operates. A tree doesn't just grow in the United States and then no trees anywhere else. What does that mean? Rain doesn't just fall in the United States and it doesn't fall anywhere else. So you
Right.
can't expect freedom in the United States and oppression everywhere else and think the oppression is not going to come to your doorstep.
Right. 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 Yeah. And besides, it's really here at this point. It's an illusion of freedom, and I don't
Yeah.
think it. I don't think they're brave. Any people are brave anymore. They've been cowed down something awful in many ways.
Even the
But
brave was misguided. I'm glad they're not brave anymore because they were taking their bravery and using it for what? To oppress other people. That's not bravery. Remember, a tree doesn't grow in just the United States. We cannot want freedom in the United States and then have the whole other
well,
planet
yeah,
living in poverty.
yeah.
You
I
understand?
just I
Yeah.
just, yeah, just meant bravery in the sense to take down what we know
Yeah.
is happening right now,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
before our eyes, and and
Mm.
people are just accepting it when they should be fighting
99% of people, whether, okay, if they had a choice to be brave or comfortable, what do you think they're going to choose?
comfortable.
There you go. And that's why there are no brave people anymore.
Yeah,
Think about it. When you got nothing to lose, oh, you become brave.
that's true. That's true. It changes your whole attitude. I mean,
It,
when if you get knocked down in society and everything, that's when you start getting. Yeah, you're absolutely
that's
right.
when you start, and when you've lost it all, like myself. I mean, they took away everything from me. They use my body to build the coming slave
Thank
system,
God I
which is
didn't
the,
have
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take the okey pokey. No, they got me before, years before. My body,
Wow.
I'm hacked, tracked, sold, owned by corporations and the government. They buy and they sell, like they got me. So I have nothing to lose. So what do? I fight. Why? Because I have nothing to lose. But when you're comfortable, you have a lot to lose. Most people will choose comfort over bravery until they take away their comfort.
That's going to happen, I'm afraid.
But you know what? Here's where we are. So Sleet, that's her name, Sleet Lapoka Clackle. Sleet said, she said, tell the human race. Now, once they get the DNA, after they get the DNA,
They got
and
it.
let me tell you, yeah, they got it. But you got to remember, China is a front. A lot of people are blaming China,
China.
but the DNA supercomputer is in the land of the red heifer.
That figures because that's, yeah, that's
Okay,
the land of
right. Okay, and it's
even.
not Sinai. It's not Mount Sinai. They lied to you. It's Mount Sin AI. What do you think runs that genetic supercomputer?
Mhm.
Sin AI. Now do you see why they wanted that land? So
I
when
know.
people say it's not the people, I said no, the people put the government there. It's the people. Now it may not be all of them, because some of them may have a conscience, but the majority of people, no, they don't. Why? Because they benefit. So people are saying China this and China that and China this and no, 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 no. China's a front.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
China wasn't organ harvesting their people until China became a first world nation. Who taught the Chinese to organ harvest their people? They weren't doing it before. The Chinese empire is 10,000 years old. Nowhere in Chinese history were they organ harvesting their people until China became a first world nation, and the red heifer people told them that in order for them to become a first world nation in America, in order for America to become a first world nation, they had to institute abortion. What is abortion? Abortion is a certain group capturing 1 million of your ancestors on your mother's side and 1 million of your ancestors on your father's side,
I never. Wow, that is
right?
absolutely.
Okay, so what's organ harvesting the Chinese DNA? The Chinese people were organ harvested 400 million. Sorry, 400 million. One child policy murdered. Okay, what happened to the DNA? They just captured the entire 10,000-year history of China with that policy. People don't understand what killing other human beings, entail. So the Chinese made a deal. The deal was done through Kissinger and Zbigniew Brzezinski. They said, you want to become a first world nation, you got to give us a tenth of your population. The United States did the same. The United States did it through abortion. The Chinese did it with one child policy that caused 400 million Chinese people to be exterminated, babies to be exterminated off the earth. Do you think those children were exterminated off the earth? No, 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 no. So when they come to tell me China, I said absolutely not. China didn't build themselves. It was the red heifer people who built China, and they told them, you got to give us a tenth of your population if you want to become first world. The Chinese gave it to the Chinese one child policy, and they handed them 400 million Chinese. America handed the red heifer people 65 million American babies. Now, multiply 65 million American babies times 2 million ancestors. Is it beginning to make sense?
It's scary, is what it is.
That's what it is. So now, when
Wow,
Sleet says the human race needs to wake up
I
to
know.
blood covenant, this is what she's talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this has been absolutely a very enlightening information and important things to know. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait to hear you guys. Guys, go out there, try what I tell you to try. Enjoy the benefits. Your body will reverse itself. Okay. So I can't wait to hear back from you guys when you do the baths. Make sure you get under the water, let it pull out all the junk, and it will change your spirit. It will change your life. And literally will start repairing your DNA. Okay. And the herbs are like, if you buy it like individually, it's like 10, 20, but like maybe $20. $20.
Maybe
Okay.
I'll have an herbalist on or something like that and see.
Good one.
But anyway, um, thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
sure.
we're going to have you on again. As long as you'll come back on, I'll bring you back on because
Yeah, and the next time I'm on, we're going to do a purification. Let's do a
Oh.
purification with your audience so they can experience what it's like when we pull out some of these things outside of the body. If you
That would
want.
be awesome. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Yes,
Okay.
we'll do that. We'll
All
definitely
right.
do that. So
All right.
I can't thank you enough. This has been very fascinating and very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, love you. Love yourself. Love each other. Show love to someone who needs love today. And have a wonderful evening, guys. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show